Is everybody ready? You good to go? Now we can wait. No, I'm kidding. We're not waiting. All right. So what you got to do is you got to do me a favor. You got to do something for me. I need you to put the cat out, let the dog in. Why? Cats don't seem to like these interviews. Dogs seem to love them. Dim the lights, pull the drapes, turn the volume all the way up, grab your favorite adult beverage, and sit back in your chair. Now, there's one button you can press right now, and that's a skip button. If you thought this was the Gen X Talks podcast where my wife beats me up for an hour, no, it's not. You can just skip this one. If that's the one you're looking for, just keep skipping. You'll get to it. But if you're a person of reason and substance, if you have style and integrity, you're going to want to stick around because this is one of the interviews. One of the things that I like to do. These are important. These are fun. These are calculated. It's not just husband bashing, which is what we normally do on Thursday afternoons. For you guys, we have a special guest. You guys know him. He's a fixture around Gen X Talks. Ben Matlock. Never lost a case. Is sitting in studio. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I submit to you Ben as an expert witness. Has there been a crime? We don't know. We're going to exasperate every one of you, exaggerate the evidence, and skip the things we don't want to talk about. And whatever you end up with is what we will call the truth. Ben, thank you for taking time. I even know you left work early to be here. Appreciate you, buddy.
Absolutely, man.
Now, are we drinking on camera to show? I got a little bit left there. You can let everybody know what we're doing.
Yeah.
All right, well, drink one, and they can drink one because it's a long topic. Let's go.
Cheers.
Ben, please state for the record, what is your rank and title at this moment?
Well, so I'm a senior project manager for a very large national construction company, a GC, a general contractor.
Gotcha.
But I also hold 2 contracting licenses in 2 different states and in Nevada and California. And I also still own our own electrical company here in Nevada and operate it here and in California a little bit too.
Well, I think you might be in trouble. I asked for your rank and title. Gen X Mom, did you notice that he did not say he was married to a wonderful woman with children?
Oh, well.
He did not say that Christine Matlock, Little Miss Hot and Nerdy, was his bride, and he'd be nothing without her. He did not state any of those things. He just went right into the part of his life that seems to matter the most. That also goes for you guys, his golfing buddies. He didn't mention you guys either.
No.
Not even a little bit.
Mm-mm.
So, now that we've established the pecking order in Ben Matlock, never lost a case, the pecking order of his life, we can continue. Now, you're a man of reason and stature and gratitude towards the humankind. But how did you get to this point? How did you get, because where you're at right now for your age is not an easily attainable thing, but tell us where you started. Where were you born and raised?
Well, I was born and raised on the north coast of California, little place called McKinleyville, California, which is in the great state of Humboldt State.
That's not on the, it was, how close to the coast was it?
Oh, that's right on the coast.
I thought it was in the middle of the state, like up the I-5 corridor.
No, that's where I was born.
Wow.
Born and raised was right on the coast. We used to call it Oklahoma by the sea because that area up there, when I was born and raised up there, all it was loggers and fishermen. That was it. Matter of fact, I'm the first guy in our family to not be a logger. I dabbled. I rode in a log truck for a few months. Dabbled in a little bit. Kind of quickly realized that was not what I wanted to do. Logging
wasn't your thing.
Logging was not my thing. But that area up there, everybody kind of knows it as the weed capital of the world.
Yep.
That's where I was born and raised. But back then, it was, even though it was still kind of the weed capital, it was not. It was more loggers and fishermen, and just a bunch of rednecks. and McKinleyville especially.
Is that what your dad did? Was he a logger?
My dad was a logger. Yep.
What'd your mom do?
My mom. so let's establish this first of all. My mom is a Midwestern woman. She's from Minnesota and South Dakota, those two areas. So the other night when I said, I answered some questions about Mount Rushmore and said my mom's from South Dakota. She was right in that area. That's where she's born and raised in Sioux Falls.
All right.
My mom. So after my dad died when I was 3.
Whoa.
In a car accident, head-on collision from a drunk driver. Guy was running from the cops and killed my dad just a few miles away from our house. So I was pretty young. That was 1980 when that happened.
Wow.
So my mom had to step up and raise 2 boys by herself. She met another man who became my other dad. They started a gun store and a little grocery store called Rogers Market. It's right on the corner of School Road.
Because that's what you do in Oklahoma by the Sea is guns and food.
Damn right.
Okay.
It's going to sell, right? What sells? Guns. Guns always sell. So they actually bought this little store. It was a little, just a little grocery store, corner market. And my dad at the time, his name was Jim. He was an ex-con. He did a stint in San Quentin. In 1969.
And owns a gun store.
And my mom owned the gun store.
There we go. All right.
Yeah.
All coming clear now.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. So they did that for quite a while, grew that business. And my mom is very, like I said, I followed this said this, that she's a Midwestern woman.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you've ever heard that line, and there's some movie where there's a line that says, is she gay or is she from the Midwest? And they go, no, she's just from the Midwest. Well,
what? I'm trying to derive how that would even be a choice. I mean, I'm trying to think of all the versions of gay there could be that you would confuse it with a Cornhusker, and I'm lost.
That's how manly she is.
Okay.
So,
all right.
She raised us with a switch and a backbone.
Yeah.
And because she had 2 big boys, and she had to raise 2 big boys on her own, and she is the toughest woman I've ever met. Period. She still lives on her own on 80 acres. She's at 83 years old, 82 years old.
Wow.
She's just a tough woman.
All right.
And she takes no shit from nobody. So that's what I was raised with.
And that's what you went to high school, completed high school there? Same place?
So St. Bernard's. That's where I went to school. She quickly pulled me out of public school and put me into a private school because she wanted me to have a better education. So started with that, and as soon as I got out of high school, I was kind of bumming around. wasn't really doing a lot, but I'd traveled a little bit, and I've been through Truckee, California, and I was into the outdoor industry.
Yeah.
At that time, I was doing a lot of stuff with outdoor stuff. I was trying to be an outdoor sales rep and that kind of world. So girl came through, born and raised in Truckee. Thought, great, this is my opportunity to get the hell out of here.
Right.
So we shacked up and ended up getting married. It was my first wife, and moved to Truckee, got married, and tried to start a life there. Started working at North Star when it was nothing. I mean, it was a tiny little resort. There was nothing there. And then, tuning skis and stuff like that. And realized I wasn't going to make enough money doing that. Yeah. And I was like, I need to get into something that's going to pay. So I had some friends that were working at the electrical supply house. And I thought, I should try to get into doing that because, they're making better money than I am here.
Yeah.
Even though it's mindless, it's not, as technical as what I'm doing. It's a different career. But my mom always said, if you want to make money, get in the trades. And if you're going to get in the trades, do the cleanest one there is. Be an electrician.
Yeah.
Right? She's like, there's money in a couple things. Poop is one of them. Be a plumber.
Yeah.
Or get into being, use your wits and become an electrician. So I'm kind of OCD. I'm kind of very meticulous with things that I do. So the electrical thing just fit my brain really well.
Yeah.
It just kind of fit how I do things. I'm a very visual person.
Well, it fits the type of work, too. When you got OCD and you're doing electrical, that's a plus.
Yeah, for sure.
You don't miss anything.
You don't miss anything, and I can visualize, whole projects in my mind. And systems. So that's that's how electricity works too. You can't see it and you can't touch it. So you have to understand the theory and you have to be able to visualize it and understand it.
You got to be able to visualize where it's going.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You can touch it, but just not for very long.
That's right. Right. Yeah. That's what she said.
That was Thomas the engineer, our sound engineer, who still hasn't learned his place.
But so true. So anyway, I just thought it was a good fit, so I jumped into doing just delivering around Lake Tahoe. I was in Truckee, living in Truckee at the time.
Yeah.
Started delivering parts around Lake Tahoe. Did that for just about 3 or 4 months, something like that. And learned in the process, I learned a lot about the parts at the warehouse because that's what I was dealing with.
Sure.
Which is a real important part of what we do, right? And then one day I was dropping off parts to a guy up there who'd been in business for 35 years, and he did all of the super custom homes around the entire lake. And I was hustling, just doing my route, and he comes out and he's smoking a cigarette, looking at me, and he goes, "Kid, you want a job?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "Yeah." I said, "But I got to give this guy 2 weeks." He goes, "Glad you said that. I wouldn't have given you a job otherwise. So that's, good on you."
Good.
So I gave my 2 weeks notice and jumped over to working with him and never looked back.
So that's where you got your first professional training, like doing some stuff.
Yep. Jumped into the custom home world, building, multi-million-dollar homes around Lake Tahoe. And that ranged from everything from super custom, commercial builds to just high-end residential stuff, but never the same thing ever.
I bet.
It was always the good thing about doing that work is it really made you learn the code. It really made you learn application and how the code fits into application. And then, like you and I were talking before this, how to understand what the requirements of the job are and how the code fits into that,
right.
and then how the environment fits into that, and make it work.
That's a big jump though from where you say you were when you're traveling around getting a custom electrical guy teaching you one-off jobs all around the lake to corporation, which is where you are now. Where'd you make that change? Because that's a big move.
It's kind of a long one, but we'll make it short. The what happened there, the long and the short of it is, I worked in that world, the custom home world, for about 15 years, 16 years, right around there.
Wow.
And then I tested out for journeyman status, and I tested out for my contractor's license in California. At that time, I was already working for a different contractor, but and the reason I tested out for my contracting license is I was, it's kind of like prove what you know, right?
Yeah.
So I wanted to have my degree in that essentially and say, look, I know what I'm talking about, right?
Right.
And at the time, I was running anywhere from 17 to 20 jobs, all ranging from 4.5 to 15 million a piece.
Wow.
With 20 guys underneath me and different crews everywhere. So I was already project managing and doing
literally
all that stuff. And I was pretty frustrated. I thought, you know what, I'm doing this for this guy, and I'm super stressed, and I really don't see much future with this particular company.
Yeah.
I think I need to just do my own thing and see where that leads. So I jumped into taking my own contracting license and jumped into my own contracting and started doing that. And in that world. Did you at that point, did you know enough people, suppliers, and on the other side, references, custom houses? People knew it was you. Yeah.
So you might have had a shot at getting some jobs.
Yeah, that's exactly how it worked. I had my own reputation that I had built. Everybody that I worked for, at least it seemed like everybody I worked for really enjoyed working with me. I had good clients, I had good people. So as soon as I started my own thing and I kind of got to that point, it wasn't long. It was less than a year that I was bidding on pretty big jobs and getting into, starting to work on my own stuff. Meanwhile, I had some good mentors along the way. I had a really good guy. I'd give him a shout out, but I don't want to name names on here, but he's a great guy. Kind of father figure to me. Did a great job, helped me out. I still work with him till today. I mean, we go back and forth and use resources together and help each other out.
So that's someone you still know. That's a good thing.
Yeah. I've known him for a long time. He's probably a year or two older than you, right around there.
Yeah.
Good dude. I just jumped into doing my own thing. And what happened was, I knew a guy that I was doing CrossFit with at the time, doing exercising down here and in Reno, and he worked for this corporation, and he was the owner of that corporation was looking for somebody to come in and bring power to their new house and wire and build their new house, and he recommended me. So went in. met this dude and started his project. And like I said, he's the owner. He was one of 5 owners of this company.
So he was watching you.
He was watching me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he comes in and I'd go to their office to talk to him about various things. And every time I go there, he'd be like, "So you want a job?" And I kept telling him no. I said, "No, man, I got a job. I'm I'm running my own company. I got multiple states going. I got multiple houses going. I got crews going. I'm like, I can't just walk away from this thing. It's a beast.
Yeah,
it's its own entity, right?
Yeah.
I can't walk away from.
It'd be tough to unwind that.
It's pretty hard to unwind it. Yeah. I mean, I got websites and you name it, we're there, right? I got social media platforms. Like we can't just walk away from this,
right?
And at this point, I'm doing smart home controls, full integration. It's a big deal. Like we're doing big homes, right?
Yeah, cutting edge stuff.
Yeah, big projects. So I said no, and this was the plan for his house too. And he goes, "Well, when you get tired of doing that, let's talk." Right. So right about that time, we got into COVID, and COVID happened, and it was getting a little weird. Things were getting a little strange, right? So I was still working through his project, and going to his office one day, and he's like, "Look, man," he goes, "let me just tell you a story." I was like, okay. So he told me his story and how he got to where he was and what he did and why he did it. And his was very much like mine, but it fell through the recession of 2008, right? So he lost everything in his own business, same kind of thing. And he's like, "Look," he's like, "I'm not asking you to walk away from your business." He's like, "I'm just asking you to come help mine." And the thing is, he's like, "You're going to have a long leash. I don't need you to be here 24/7. Like you're going to make your own schedule, do your own thing. I know you're going to have to deal with your own stuff."
You just want to make sure you got his stuff done.
Yeah,
make sure his stuff turned out right.
Exactly. He's like, "I just want to make sure that ours is good, and you can help do this side of it." And he said, "What would it take?" And I sat down and I wrote down a number on a paper and I slid it over to him. And he looked at it and he said, "You'll have the offer by the time you get home."
Wow.
Yep.
You take the paper back and go, "Hang on, hang on.
I wish I had now.
You did that a little. You answered a little
Trust
too
me,
quick.
wish I had now. Yes,
hang
absolutely.
on. You answered way too fast.
Yeah, it was way fast.
Here, how about this number?
Yeah, well, there was not enough digits in there for sure.
No. You can't read that last zero. I didn't have it on there.
Man. Yeah, it wasn't the zero at the end. It was the numbers at the beginning. I should have changed.
Change that one.
But I'll tell you what, it was an offer that I would have been stupid to walk away from, and I took it back, and we. Little Miss Hot and Nerdy and I talked about it. We prayed about it. We talked to some mentors about it. It was not an easy decision because we knew that it was a big change.
But you scaled back your business, but you do still have it.
Yeah, we scaled it back. I do still have it. We're still running, and it's probably going to scale back up this year. By the way, because there's just that much going on.
Good,
and it's just finding the right people and the right things to make that work. But I think we're close. But anyway, so. We looked. We just said, "Look, we'd be dumb if we didn't do this. It's going to give me an opportunity to see things that I'll never see with my own business." Right. It takes you into a tech industry that we're not a part of right now, but it's a safe way to be an entrepreneur and not an entrepreneur.
So. When you before we leave the part where you're running your own business and doing back in the time you did your own custom homes. Tell me something up on that lake that was just super impressive in a house where the guy just had stupid money and was spending it and you were like, "Holy Santa Claus shit, I can't believe what I'm seeing here." There's got to be something.
No, that's easy.
Okay.
57,000 square feet of house. A service to the house that's a third larger than a Walmart.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. $150 million build at the time, and that wasn't done yet. They ended up buying the property next to it and putting 20,000 square foot guest house next to it that looks the same as the main house. The main house was 4 bedrooms.
4 bedrooms.
57,000 square feet.
Bowling alley, driving range, basketball court. I mean, I'm trying to think of anything that could be in there to take up space.
Olympic-sized swimming pool.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, full gym, saunas, massage rooms,
When a guest comes over,
Sports court.
You got to give them a golf cart and a map.
Yeah.
Like a Disney map. You are here.
Yeah.
So you know where to go.
Yeah, it's insane, and it looks like a castle, and it's very, very visible from the road.
Was it on the water?
It's right on the lake.
Did any part of it stick out over the water, like their boats? Could their boats come in?
No, they have docking space there. They have a really nice docking space there, but it doesn't stick out. The one thing about that project is it was setting world records as we were building it. So it was sinking into the ground and into the lake about a half an inch a year because of the weight of the building.
Wow.
And they were recording it. The way they were doing it, they had these what do I want to call that? Basically, they were a GPS tracked laser beam that would. So when we go to set, we'll put it this way: when we go to set a device in a room, they'd have a laser in the room that was set to an altitude from GPS.
Okay.
So it would basically, we were setting it to a height off a finished floor like you normally would do. Most people go 48 inches off a finished floor or whatever, right? No, we weren't doing that. We were going...
Because if the floor sinks along with the thing on the wall, you're never going to know.
Right. So they would shoot this laser beam, and it was set to, whatever the elevation was, 6,500 feet or 6,502 feet, whatever it was.
Wow.
That's what it was set at, and it would just shoot this line around the room, and they'd mark it, and that's what you'd set your stuff at. So that's the kind of stuff that we were involved in. The company that does smart home stuff for that, I can drop this name. It's national. It's called Lutron. They're the largest smart home company in the world. They're the inventors of the dimmer switch. Put it that way. They invented the dimmer switch.
Far out.
Back in '54.
That's a patent you want to have.
That's a good patent to have. Yes. Yeah. So they had to build a custom system for that home because they've never had anything that size, and for it to all integrate and talk to each other the way it needed to, it had to be a custom build from them. So yeah, pretty cool stuff.
Wow. So then you moved on when you got into the more corporate side of things, big business, the bigger contractors that not even just regional. You're talking about guys who go all over the country.
Yeah, national.
These national contracts.
Yeah, actually worldwide, actually.
So that's a whole different ballgame in itself.
Yeah.
Now, electricity is electricity, but the way you guys deliver it is different all along the way.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm learning stuff from Briggs on electricity now that I'm like, dude, you're way over my pay grade, and I don't, and he doesn't know anything, and he's
scratching the surface.
Yeah, it's just intense stuff.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Well, one of the reasons that I wanted to bring you in to talk to you was I am trying to understand. There's so much controversy about data centers, and it really is. It's either we're really at the infancy of talking about it, or it's been out there for a long time and nobody's talking about it. Yes, there's protests. Mm-hmm. Okay, for the last 5 or 8 years, people are like, protest. Data centers suck, and data centers come along and go, no, we're great and everything's fine. All right, that's typical with every project ever done to mankind. There's people on both sides of the issue. But there's nobody, I haven't seen anybody really diving in and trying to understand it. Number one, I didn't know what a data center was. Mm-hmm. And I asked that question, and the guest who was here before you, he was explaining data centers just hold all the information. See what a terrible host we have here, Mary?
It's okay. I got it. You're
Making
good.
That man pour his own drink.
It's close.
Gen X mom.
We're good.
Gen X mom.
She's busy.
She ain't doing shit.
No, look at her.
She's on... Okay, she's over there. Literally, she's on Pornhub. Okay, that's all she's doing. She ain't doing anything important at all.
I hope it's girls.
We can all wonder. So the guy who was here before, I said, what is a data center? And he's like, well, a data center just holds every piece of... First, he says, there's been data centers collecting data for 70 years. It's just we do it differently now. And with the expansion of AI, all these AI centers, or all these AIs have to learn at an exponential rate and put it someplace.
Yeah.
Okay. I said, how many are out there now? He goes, there's over 5,000 in the country right now. I go, how many more are on the slate for being built? He goes, another 5,000. I go, why? Mm-hmm. And he explained it to me this way. He goes, well, in one can be Google, a data center, an Apple, Microsoft. They all kind of share space in the same building because of redundancy. They want their stuff everywhere just in case one goes down. Mm-hmm. They don't lose all their information. Mm-hmm. Okay, totally get that. Yep. And I don't care so far. This doesn't bother me. But I said, why do we need so many? And he goes, that is what they anticipate, they think they will need filling up data by how much AI is learning, and it's storing it, learning and storing, learning and storing, learning and storing. Just like if you were pulling gold out of the ground, you could say, well, how big of a barn do I need to store all this gold? Well, we got 10 robots. They're all doing 10 wheelbarrows a day, and they're never going to stop. Oh, I'm going to need a lot of barns.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're going with some sort of guerrilla math like that, you kind of get an idea. But our guest before you said, nobody really knows how big this is going to be or where the cliff is on the other side when the boom ends. We don't know where we're probably going to overbuild and then at some point realize we didn't need to have that much.
I don't think that's going to be the case. I really don't. I think that AI first of all, AI is driving the narrative of this. And smarter people than me that can do quantum mathematics and really, in quantum computing, that have those kind of computers and that kind of thing. They've kind of extrapolated what the process is, but it just depends on.
Why doesn't it overwrite shit that it doesn't need and keep going? Why does it save everything?
That's the weird part about it. And I can't tell you, honestly, I don't know. I'm not on that side of it. I'm sure there's some tech geeks out there that could.
Yeah.
But think about it this way. Every single picture you've ever taken and deleted, it's stored somewhere.
Okay. Well, it's a lot of data.
Right.
Especially when you got 8 billion people on the planet doing it.
Exactly.
Okay.
So even if you've deleted information off your phone or off your computer, you think it's gone? No, it's in a cloud bank somewhere. It's stored. And the reason they're storing it is because AI is going to learn from that at some point and use it for its own, its own growth.
Well, so I get why we have data centers. I get the need for a ton of them. All right. I still don't care. It's like, well, they're probably going to be an eyesore because there's so many of them, but America's a big place. We got lots of land. You can put it out in the middle of nowhere and nobody'd ever see it, so I don't care. But it's like with solar panels. Now we've learned after 20-some years of high-end solar panels that they leak and chemicals go in the ground and they peel apart and the paint comes off of them and it corrodes and you're like, wait a minute, you said this was clean energy and good for the environment. And I mean, you preached it to us.
There's no such thing as clean energy.
Now you're full of shit.
Let's start there. There's no such thing as clean energy.
And it's the same thing with the wind turbines.
No.
I watch Landman.
Yeah,
I know.
Exactly.
I learned everything I need to know about wind turbines from Landman.
Yeah, in 5 minutes.
In 5 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just needed somebody. Billy Bob
laid it down, man.
He did. I'm like, okay, I can turn this off now.
Yeah.
I felt like I was watching a mini documentary.
It was amazing.
It was good stuff.
Yeah.
All right. So besides the fact that I don't know what data centers are going to leave in the ground in 25 years, which they'll say, nothing, everything's fine. Yeah, we've heard that story every time. The problem, apparently, is computers run hot. All right, I get that. As a dumb mechanic in the middle of the desert, I've watched computer systems overheat all the time, and they've got to a point now where, like, okay, we got it to where they run pretty cool. You can even live in Las Vegas, and you can still run a computer.
Yeah.
Got you. But it took 20-some years to get us there. It was not easy. All right, so the first thing that comes to mind is, like, we have to keep the chips cool. The chips run like 40 degrees to 80 degrees, but if you get above 80 degrees Fahrenheit, then it starts to, the chips degrade, they run slower, they cause a problem. Okay, so cooling becomes an issue. So the first thing is let me go back to electricity first. I don't understand if we're going to power these things at the amount of electricity they say they're going to need. Yeah. And I think they're lying. I think they're going to need way more than they say. I think they come in a little low and go, no, we'll be fine with that number. But even if they're not, I have asked people before, point blank, hey, there's many buildings going on in this area. Do we have the power to run them right now? They go, no, we don't.
We don't.
Okay, how can you answer that casually like that? That seems like, when we're done, here's your building, we're all done, write us the check. Oh, by the way, you can't use it.
We don't, but it's on its way. I'll put it that way. So
Okay.
The thing is, like, really, truthfully, on the West Coast, the entire West Coast, we have the power, right? The nation has the power. The power is actually here. It's just Nevada doesn't have it. So it's wait.
Where do we have the power?
Oh,
Hoover Dam.
Between California,
Yeah.
Idaho, Utah.
They have enough power stations.
We have enough power stations on the West Coast. We have the power to do it. It's just it's all controlled by separate entities
Right.
and, different conglomerates.
But if all these data
involved.
centers went in and they said, "Hey, we're going to need just an obscene amount of power," and they give you, a gigawatt range or a terawatt range or something, that you say, "Oh yeah, we can do that. It's here available." Not that we could get it here, but you think that it's out there?
It's out there. Yeah, it's been proven it's out there. The thing is like you said, it's how do we get it here, right? It's got to be transmission lines have to be put in. The infrastructure is not here is what the problem is.
Right. Now, the guest before you said they're building a big, I call it a substation. He called it something else, out in eastern Nevada, and he goes, it's a spot where all the transmission lines are coming together. They're building it.
Yep.
He goes, there's a big, huge project coming up from Hoover Dam.
Funny you should ask, because I have a little bit about that in front of me right here.
Big project coming.
Big project.
The big power lines that are so fucking big, like airplanes would have to go around them.
Yeah.
They're huge.
It's big. So it's called Nevada's Green Link is what it is.
And what is that?
So that is basically it's a big project that Nevada put together quite a few years ago and started working on. And I kind of have a little bit of information about it in front of me because I figured you'd ask about this.
Yeah.
But the Green Link is there's let me see if I can separate this real quick. So there is very large transmission lines. Yes, he's right. Very large transmission lines that are coming from southern Nevada to northern Nevada. And they're going to get distributed to a couple different places, kind of strategically for different use.
Okay.
We're also in the process, well, not we, but I think you actually sent me a little link on this. It's called The Project, right, which is another power station that they're actually building. Now, this is on social media. You sent me the link for this the other day, which I thought was ironic because it's I'm actually working on the project that they're building it for. But what that is it's going to be a substation or its own power station for one of the larger data centers out there in USA Parkway.
Right.
And they're actually, in that one that you sent me, they're talking about, this power isn't going to go to anybody else. It's only going to be for it's natural gas. It's a natural gas station.
Yeah. That's a natural gas burning station that generates electricity.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. And they're saying on that thing, it's just going to be for the one project. Well, actually, they're going to generate enough to actually put back into the grid, and they'll actually produce a decent amount of power back into the grid and put back into it. But they have to build it because this Green Link, even though it's coming, it's not going to be there and available for the amount of power that they need. So
it's still not enough.
It's still not. Like, let's just put this in perspective. I got a couple of little notes here. We'll go through this, put it in perspective for people. So data center power, like on a small data center power, a 1 to 5 megawatt it draws about 1 to 5 megawatts of continuous power. That's a small data center.
Okay.
That's like the one that they're putting down there on Keystone right now in Reno. That's a little project.
Now, people don't know what 1 megawatt is. How big of a city is that? Or is it a city? What's a city run?
We'll get to that.
All right.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Okay.
We'll get to that. So 1 to 5 megawatts of continuous power. A mid-size one is 10 to 20 megawatts of power.
That's a big jump.
A large hyperscale, which is your Microsofts, your Googles, your AWS, Meta, those are 50 to 100 plus megawatts.
Holy shit.
AI focused are 300 to 500 plus, possibly 1 gigawatt, which is 1,000 megawatts.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. Now, to put that in perspective, a 100 megawatt data center equals about 85,000 U.S. homes.
So a gigawatt one would be 10 of those.
10 of those.
Wow.
Yeah. A 1 gigawatt is equal to a medium-sized city or a large power plant. Now, a large power plant is not like we have the Tracy power plant here. That's not a large power plant. It's a pretty big power plant, but it's not a large power plant.
Yeah.
The Tracy power plant is putting out about 300 kV. That's what their transmission lines that are coming out of there are, 300 kV. So it's coming up on Greenlink from Nevada. Now this is kind of going to give you an overview of this. So May 2027 and this portion of it is on track. This is going to be turned on May 2027. We're going to have 525 kV line.
Yeah. In addition to what the other guys got that's putting out 300.
Right. So
okay. All right.
We got a 525 kVA line, or KV line, sorry, coming from Las Vegas to Fort Churchill. That's near Urington.
Okay.
So that's east, right? So that's 472 miles of construction that's active right now.
Right.
That's through military airspace and that kind of thing, right? So there's some big issues, but they've resolved most of those, and that thing's on track.
Okay.
What's delayed is the Green Link North, which is a separate 25 kV line going to Ely and Fort Churchill. So 235 miles via Highway 50. So the things there are BLM environmental reviews and pushback and delays like that.
But that's going east.
That's going east.
Okay.
Right. So that's going to be out for mines and stuff
Right.
like that.
Sure.
Right? Which is probably going to be pushing towards the lithium mine, the
Right.
largest lithium mine in the world that I know of. That's coming online.
Gotcha.
The other one, so that's two 525 kV lines that are coming up, and one's going to go west.
Okay.
Two of them.
Okay.
One's going to go west, and one's going to go north. That's what's happening. They're both going to land at Fort Churchill. That's what he's talking about.
Yeah, that's what
to me.
Right.
That's what he's talking about.
Okay.
They're both going to land there. That's the distribution center, and then they're going to go different directions.
So we get one coming our way.
Yep. So
Okay.
we get one here. That's west. And then from that one, that's landing at Fort Churchill, that 525 kV line that's landing there, it's kind of going to stay there. They're going to divert 345 kV of that, times 3. So 3 lines, 345 kV, 2 lines to Urington to Trick, 1 line to Urington to Reno, and it's going to support data centers and industrial growth. So that's what's happening there. Now, mind you, the Tracy power plant that we have right now that powers all of northern Nevada up here
Yeah.
is 300 kV.
Well, that's a lot of power we got then. We got a lot coming in.
We have a lot coming in.
Until Lake Mead gets down so low it can't spin the generators.
Right. Well, and all of this isn't just coming from Hoover Dam. This is all coming from a multitude of different things. Solar, wind generation, it's a bunch of different things combined that are creating this power.
Okay, let me help you out, Ben. If you didn't know already, let me help you. Sometimes the sun goes away at night and doesn't generate with solar power. Sometimes, Ben, the wind doesn't blow. You know what's always moving? The Colorado River.
That's right.
It's always going.
Well, funny you should talk about that. We'll get into what that next, because it's always sunny in space. We'll talk.
That's true. Yeah.
We'll talk about that. So that's what's coming up here. So that Green Link it's on its way. So
that in layman's terms sounds like there's enough power coming up
there is
to not only power what they need to power, but they can even put a little back in the system.
They're going to put a lot back in the system, but a part of that, the reason they're bringing it up is because right now in Urington, in that Fort Churchill area, there has been there's already been a project, well, projects that are this area that's already been basically approved to be done, and they're calling it the Urington Data Center Corridor. That's $27 billion plus in projects that are going to come to Urington,
and that's all power transition, transmission lines.
That's all data centers. So $27 billion in data centers.
Oh, and data centers
that are coming to that data center corridor in Urington. So those areas have already been approved for building. They've already been through the process. This is something that's already going to be happening.
First we start the conversation with, I don't think we have enough power.
Right.
Then you tell me all these stories about power lines coming in,
Right.
and I think, hey, now we're going to have enough power. Now you tell me there's $27 billion in data centers going in. Now I'm going, we're not going to have enough power again.
Right. But you got to think that over the time of this, that a lot of these data centers are like the one that we're talking, there's one out there in particular, the one that's doing the project. They already know that this is a problem. So a lot of these people are going to start going, screw NV Energy. Like, we need to build our own power plants.
Well,
we need to build our own power.
And Trump signed something that said, now, if you're grandfathered in, if you're in process, fine. But starting now, you guys build your own energy.
Yeah.
That's what he wrote an order, said, just do it yourself, which I'm all for that.
And people are. And it's happening here. This area is a hot spot. Texas is another huge hot spot. And it's happening all over the nation. This is something that is, we're like you said, we're in the infancy of this. We're scratching the surface of what's going to happen here. But if you pay attention to the tea leaves and what's going on, and some people that talk about some pretty crazy stuff, and not that I'm not going to say they know everything, that they're the end all be all, but if you pay attention to what they talk about, the direction that this stuff is going is we probably are going to take data centers to space, more than likely.
Elon talked about that. Elon talked about two things: about generating energy from space was one, which I don't get that at all. And then he talked about, the part I did kind of understand was he talked about data centers heating and cooling.
Correct. And there comes it's always sunny in space.
It's always cold.
And it's always cold.
So you can get the sunlight and you can get the temperature down to where you need it for stuff. So you're good there.
And guess what else? Solar panels aren't going to degrade in space.
No.
Because you don't have all the environmental conditions that degrade them. So, you start building more and more efficient solar panels and you're putting them in space. Those things are going to last a long time.
Well, and he's way out over his skis on this one because, like, the money to do it does not match the money you're getting back. Right. But he's done that with everything.
I was going to say.
Every single thing he's done he has spent more money than it was ever going to be worth.
He's the only trillionaire I know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, he's been out over his skis on a lot of things, but he's also the only one I've ever seen actually do it.
How rich do you think Jeff Bezos is?
Well, I'm sure you could look it up. I'm sure it's public knowledge. But
I mean, it's billions.
It's billions.
Okay.
I'm sure it's hundreds of billions.
Hundreds of billions of dollars.
Yeah.
You're closer to Jeff Bezos' wealth,
right,
than he is to Elon's.
Absolutely. Yep.
I read that the other day. I was like, wow, wow.
Yep.
Because I know how far away I am from Jeff. So
correct.
I can't imagine how far you are from Elon. That just blows my mind.
Yeah, and you start talking about the statistics of that and what's going on. What Elon's talking about doing next. I mean, here's the thing. I've been in the industry a long time, and we've been a part of that industry for a long time. I'm not going to name drop anything, but we're in the tech industry, right? We deal with semiconductor world. We deal with lithium battery world.
Right.
We build the clean rooms and deliver the power and the tools to do this kind of stuff. This is what we do. I see it on a daily basis. And I've seen that man move mountains that nobody would ever imagine happening. And he's crazy. He's talking out of the side of his neck. Really?
Till he does it.
Because he does it.
Yeah.
And he does it in record time. Every single time. I mean, you look at the Gigafactory in Texas. I mean, that thing's a mile long by a half mile wide, and they built it in a year. They put it up in a year, operational in a year. It wasn't perfect, but it was operational in a year.
Yeah.
Nobody else has ever done that.
No.
I mean, it's crazy, but...
Well, so we touched on a couple different topics. One is, what is the point of building a gigantic building full of batteries to power these centers when it takes electricity to charge the batteries? It's like, that can only be, in my mind, a dumb mechanic again, that can only be if the power fails. If the power shuts off, we can run on batteries for a while. That's all it's got to be. What else could it be? You're not saving anything by charging batteries all day long.
No. The batteries are a good backup system for a lot of things. They're not going to be end all be all. His direction is, and this is where you got to get really, creative. You got to really just open your mind to what he's talking about, because it's wild. It's really wild when you really start looking at the math. It's wild. The crazy thing is, you can, he's like, him and his engineers, which are probably the smartest people on the earth, are the only ones that can really, write it down mathematically and prove it to you how it's going to work. Yeah. And then it's just, okay, how do we get busy and do it?
I saw a couple of his mathematical drawings.
Yeah.
I recognized one symbol, and it looked like that squiggle on Charlie Brown's head.
Exactly.
That's what it looked like to me. I was like, I know
I know what that is.
This is a Charlie Brown equation.
Yeah.
The Charlie Brown factor right there. That's the only one I recognized.
No.
Okay, so we got the all right, let's skip power if we really think there's enough power on the West Coast. It just got to be divided up better. Companies are coming in.
The infrastructure.
They're building steam ones. They're building, like you said, natural gas ones. Okay, let's say we're close enough we can get across that finish line, and we're not going to have brownouts everywhere because of data centers.
Yeah, I mean, we're gonna experience that. I guarantee we're gonna experience the brownouts because of data centers at some point. Now
Right.
we'll get over that hump eventually.
Yeah, well, we should then. They can't be allowed in if they're going to cause pain and suffering. That's just dumb.
That's what we should do. Are we going to? Who knows? I think what we're going to see is you're going to see some of the trends that you've seen in California with some of that. I just feel like you're going to have some of those issues. They say they're not going to tax our system. They're going to tax our system.
Well, that's the problem.
It's
Everybody's
the reality
coming
of it.
in. It's like, okay, so we're putting in all these massive transmission lines. We're putting in that connection center out there east of, where is it, Fernley or Fallon or wherever it is? Where's it going?
Yeah, it's Urington. It's
okay.
It's a little south of Urington. Yeah, Fort Churchill area.
All right. They're not doing that for us. They're doing that because of the data centers.
They're doing it for big business.
Okay, so
that's
then
what's driving it.
Guess who should pay for it?
They should. 100%.
100%. Like,
And-
don't split it with us.
Yeah,
Don't,
and they mostly are. I mean, they're mostly paying for it. I would say that they're paying the majority of it. It's not, what they're saying right now is it's not going to affect our power bills and how much we pay in power and this and that. Matter of fact, overall, we might end up going down. By the time all this infrastructure gets here, the power gets here, our power bills might regulate and become better. That's the reality of it, because we're going to have more infrastructure. It's going to be better.
More. Well, if you got more supply, we're okay.
Supply, yeah.
All right.
Right.
So let's move on to water.
Now, that's a whole nother problem.
This is the one that seems to be at everyone. People have argued this with me, like, hey, data centers are using all the water. I was like, how? I know how. I'm a mechanic. I know how cars work. I know how refrigeration works. See, you bring the Truckee River in as cold water. It cools everything off, and the water leaves as hot water, and it goes right back into the river. We're really not losing anything.
Yeah.
Now, you see how I did that?
Yeah.
I don't know why Elon's not calling me, asking me for sections. I'm like, just build it right on the Truckee. River flows right through your building and comes out the other side back in the river.
You should be his PR man and just explain it in dumb mechanics from the desert.
Yeah.
Explanation. It goes in, comes in, it goes out.
Yeah, and you know what? Don't lose any.
Yeah,
Just keep it in.
So Google, I think, was the first ones to kind of commit to 99% efficiency.
Okay,
that's ridiculously high.
Yeah, that's impossibly high.
But they're up there. Some of these other ones out here, I think, are committing to 95%, that kind of thing. But what's happening now is, data centers have traditionally been air-cooled type systems, water systems that come in, and you lose a lot of efficiency.
Well,
because
how?
it's water.
Because you can't just hose them down.
No.
You can't just have a mister running the whole time on circuit boards. So
because you said it earlier, heat. What does heat do to water?
Evaporates it.
Right. So how are you going to have?
You run the water through it like in a pipe.
Right. It doesn't work. You still have evaporation. You still have loss. You're still going to have loss.
Not
no
if
matter
the water's in the pipe.
Nope. It doesn't matter. You're still going to have a certain amount of loss.
All right. Then you put a condenser on the other end. All the little evaporative steam droplets turn back into regular water droplets. They drain into a bucket. You pay a guy to dump the bucket back in the river.
You're not far off.
Okay.
You're not far off.
That's what I'm saying, baby.
That's kind of what the direction. That's kind of the direction they're going. But what they're going to do now is, they're working towards closed loop systems, and they're calling this liquid to chip. So it's not just water. I mean, it's going to be kind of a water base, but it's kind of like what you'd see like a glycol or like your radiator type stuff. The problem is none of the cooling fluids we have now are really great for doing both heating and cooling, because it's not just cooling it. You also have to control heat too, especially in winter and things like that. So you have to be able to do both. And you have to be able to control those temperatures and keep it in the happy zone, right?
Right.
So none of those are perfect for what they want to do. They get close. Again, 95, 99% efficiencies is what they're committing to, and they're going to reach it. I can see that they're going to get close to it, and they'll probably, fudge some numbers to make it work, but they're going to.
But if we're not giving up that much water, what's the big deal?
Well,
is it because the amount of volume?
It's the volume.
I mean, if you lose 10% of Lake Tahoe, that's quite a bit.
It's a volume thing. Yeah, it's the amount. I mean, some of these things are, what are they talking, 20,000 gallons a day or something? It's a lot of water. Wow. So there's an issue with that, and I'm not the expert on that at all. First person to claim I don't know enough about that, but it is. The more you look into it, the more research you do. It's an interesting thing that a lot of people smarter than me are working on trying to solve.
Well, it's like you can go to the other thing and say, okay, we can build it. You go to Costco and there's a milk section. It gets freezing cold.
Yep.
All the time. It's like walking into a big fridge or a big freezer. We have Freon, and a compressor can move the Freon through an evaporator, through a condenser, back to the compressor, and it goes around in a big circle. You never lose any Freon.
No.
You never change the Freon. It stays there forever. If it doesn't leak out, it never goes bad. And you could build an entire building like that. Mm-hmm. Well, now you're back up to an electrical problem again.
Right.
Now you're because that is the most expensive thing you can do is drive compressors.
Well, the funny thing is you didn't touch on the thing that might be the most concerning.
Which is?
Well, what's a megawatt? What is at the core? What is a megawatt? I mean, it's a measurement, right?
It's a measurement. That's all.
Yeah. What is it a measurement of, though?
I don't see this is the part. Briggs comes home and does this to me. He goes, Dad, amperage is the push and voltage is the thing. And here's, there's ohms and watts, and how watts is what you use. I'm like, shut the fuck up. This he does it once a week. I get this story.
I'll keep it simple for you.
And he draws it out for me. He draws it out like there's a little cartoon character trying to fit through a narrow passageway.
Oh, that's one of my favorites.
Somebody pushing.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites. Yeah,
right. Thanks. So
with the noose around it.
Exactly. You got to be. You might as well just draw Wile E. Coyote, chasing the Roadrunner, because I'm not getting the Acme electricity version.
Yeah. So, I mean, we'll just keep it simple. I mean, it's pretty hot in this room right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We wish it was a little cooler in here.
Me too.
Right?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Wish it was a little cooler in here.
Yeah. Hint, asshole.
Yeah. So a megawatt is a measurement of heat. That's all it is. It's a measurement of heat.
No.
Yeah.
It's used with electricity.
It is used with electricity, but it's also a measurement of heat.
Why? We have Fahrenheit and Celsius for that shit.
Because electricity creates heat.
Okay, so megawatt should create Fahrenheit.
Well, there is a conversion table for that, and if the other person on the other end of this wants to do that math real quick, you could. Why don't you do that conversion? Megawatts.
Well, he's not fixing the air conditioning, so he's got time.
He's got a computer. He's got a calculator. It's a measurement of heat.
Okay.
So the question is, if a mid-size one of these things is putting off 10 to 20 or drawing and using 10 to 20 megawatts, how much heat are we putting into the atmosphere?
Oh, how would I fucking know that? I don't know.
Well, that's a good question. And that's something I don't think a lot of people are even thinking about or discussing, that if we have 5,000 of these things now and we're going to build another 5,000 or however many we're going to put on this damn planet, how much more heat are we putting into the atmosphere that we've never had before, and we're just generating a bunch of heat into the atmosphere?
Can't we use heat to make something generate electricity?
That's, again, probably above my pay grade. But that's where we got to look at this. And this is where I'm saying, like, people like Elon and crazies are like, we need to get this stuff off of planet Earth. It needs to go somewhere. And have you seen that they've launched these things in the ocean now?
Data centers?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. For cooling.
For cooling.
Because it just sits there and boils the water, but it never knows, because you're so deep in the water, it doesn't even turn to steam. It just bubbles around and turns back into water.
Right. So, we really need to employ the smartest people and engineers on this planet to really look at and solve these problems, because the problem's not going to go away.
No.
What we're doing right now, the talk that we're doing, the stuff that we use, the social media platforms, the phones we use, the computer you're on, we have a footprint. All of us have this footprint.
Yeah.
And we're continually making it bigger and bigger and bigger by what we use. And we can't get off our phones. We can't have more, 3 screens. We need 6 screens in front of our face.
Right.
It's becoming more and more of an issue. So when we look at this thing from a real, 300,000 foot view, and yes, I'm just a dumb electrician like you, right, in the desert, just out here working, trying to, feed my family, figure it out. But the reality of it is when we look at it from a real high view, problem is not going away. And we got to figure out as a world and as a nation and how to get ahead of this to where we can make this, less energy, or if the energy it needs to be greater, how do we get it? Does it go to space? Maybe space is the answer. Get it off planet. Maybe that's the answer. When you start looking at the amount that it takes to get something off this planet to space, what does that take?
Well, water, right? The ocean seems to be the first most viable one because it's cold.
It's cold, right?
It doesn't do anything, dude. It doesn't leak or anything. Just let it sit out there and keep everything cool. Who cares?
Right. But now that we have, now that Elon has gone down the path of, SpaceX and, the rockets he's launching and the heavy load carriers and everything that they're doing now. Well, it's going to get cheaper.
He could put them all on the moon, and now you could have robots servicing it, walking around taking care of it.
He's already working on that problem.
So you don't even have to have it in space. You can have it on the moon. Now there's robots just flip one on and say, "Go fix that."
That's the step. That's the next step. So that's kind of the direction all this is going. And I really think that by the time we all, you'll probably be dead and gone. I might be dead and gone by this time.
But take this call. We're going to see who's interrupting the show here.
Oh, go ahead.
Hello.
Hey, did you feed the dogs?
No, I didn't feed the dogs. Where are you?
Home.
I'm right in the middle of an interview with your boss, right?
Oh, no?
Yeah, he's...
Hi, Brigger.
He can hear you.
All right, well, I'll just ask you if you fed the dogs.
Go feed the dogs.
Go feed the dogs, man. Yeah, Ben just said...
Jeez, Ben, you don't have to boss me after work, too.
Yeah, I do. Now I'm gonna get back to work now. I'm going to get back to my job, okay?
All right, see ya.
Bye. Fucking kids.
Yeah, see? I'm telling you.
Okay.
But that's the direction I think we're going.
Okay, here's another one. I just saw an article. I was almost going to send this to you, but I didn't want to. And it was... the problem is that we have all these chips running hot.
Mm-hmm.
So you think, all right, let's figure out how to cool the room.
Mm-hmm.
Let's figure out how to cool the chip. NVIDIA, I just saw an article yesterday, said, we're going to go about this a different way.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to make chips that can run real hot.
Mm-hmm.
Well, fucking A, man, that sounds great.
Yeah.
Why don't we think of that in the beginning? Just if our problem is, hey, man, it's at top 110 degrees, 120 degrees, we're in trouble here. Let's fucking make a chip that runs that hot. Mm-hmm. And they did.
Yeah, they're coming out with some really cool new technology with chips right now and new materials and stuff that, I don't know. I'm sure if you go down the rabbit hole, you can kind of look it up. But I'm sure some of it's probably protected information too. But there's some really interesting stuff coming out where they're going to start making chips out of different materials.
Well, let's back up. We didn't really say if water is going to be an issue like in Nevada.
Right.
What type of coolers are we putting in? What's going in right now all over northern Nevada? They're building them in Phoenix, Arizona.
We are going liquid to chip right now.
We are. Okay, so that's not too bad.
The plants and stuff that we're working out here, which by the way, the ones that we're working out here are largely the large hyperscale version.
Yeah.
So the 50 to 100 plus megawatts is what we're looking at.
We got the power problem solved pretty much.
Yep.
But if we're not using evaporative cooling, then we're not really counting that. We're not really counting water in, water out too much.
No, those things are going to run probably 95 to 97% efficiency.
Well, sure.
Yeah, they're going to be extremely efficient. Yeah.
Well, that's just like cars. You say, well, you blow a radiator hose, you lose water. But yeah, over the life of the car, you probably save, with that, how efficient is it, how much water you actually using. You're just saving 99% of it. I mean, so what?
Right.
That seems way smarter. And now if you could do liquid to chip and using in those new NVIDIA ones that run cooler anyway, now that liquid to chip system doesn't have to work that fucking hard.
Right. And trust me, every single day, there's people smarter than us that are working on those different types of liquids, those different types of cooling agents that are going to get better and better and better. I mean, it's a lot like the computer technology. You know how computers have evolved so quickly.
Yeah.
We're doing the same thing, just in a different world.
So then so all the protests, it doesn't sound like they're as informed as they should be.
They're not. They're definitely not.
And then also, the only thing that concerns me about what you said is we're going to have some suffering with brownouts, or we're going to have, because the technology, all the power is not going to get here as soon as, well, then I would say then you can't turn your fucking data center on. Sorry, you can't flip the switch.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, don't cut it so close.
Yeah, there's definitely, I would say the environmentalists are standing on uninformed platforms. If they really took a middle road with it and got as informed as they possibly could on both sides of the issue and started to understand, what technology and how soon we're going to catch up to where we need to be, 100% efficiencies in these things.
Yeah.
We're really not that far off when you look at the timeline. We're a lot closer than people think we are.
Well,
the bigger problem I see is the amount of land that we're using and the land that we're consuming right now to build these things, because farmers are selling their farms and laughing all the way to the bank.
Well, see that I don't think we should. There's so much land out in the middle of nowhere. Go use some of that shit. Go out in the desert and use it. Don't put it where farmland is.
Yeah, what they are though, because it's flat. Right? The land that's in the middle of nowhere is the gorgeous mountains that nobody wants to touch anyway, because we would need to save that for our kids. We have
300 mountain ranges in Nevada. We can give up a couple dozen.
We do in Nevada, but again,
okay. So we give up a couple dozen mountain ranges.
Again,
sorry,
expense to build on unflat land, right? So that's what we're doing here. We're building on unflat land, and the expense to do that is very, very, very expensive compared to other places. So even though Nevada and even though this location is one of the more sought after places. And some of that's due to government regulation and things like that. It's a little looser here for us, right? So, and those companies get incentives to come here and do that. But I mean, they're literally tearing and flattening down mountains right now in the middle of Nevada. You can drive out there and see them. I've watched them take down an entire mountain, make it flat to build a data center on it.
Okay, I'm not. You know what? I'm not opposed to that. I'm not one of those guys who goes, "You should never no sunflower should ever be plucked."
Yeah, me neither. Nothing grows out there.
No, it's like,
there's nothing on it,
dude.
It's rock.
It's just this is progress. It's how it goes.
Yeah.
I'm not telling you to go into Yosemite Valley,
right,
and put data centers.
Right.
Okay, you got to have a little balance here.
You do.
But there's a lot of like, dude, see this beautiful scenery of these mountains? Okay, this goes on for 600 miles.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, if we give up 20 square miles of it, I think we're going to be okay. In fact, I'll do you one better. We'll even build it 3 mountain ranges back inside where you can't see it from the highway. Are you happy with that? I mean,
and that's what they're going to do.
I'd be okay with that.
Yep, that's what they're doing.
I'm not telling you don't touch any land ever. I'm not that guy.
They're putting them in the most remote areas, places that nobody really wants to be anyway. I mean, trust me, I know where some of these places are being built, and I don't even want to go to the job sites, even though I have to.
If I brought the last guest in. Mm-hmm. And had him sit here with you, and I moderated this type of debate of information, he would say something like, when you said all the transmission lines that are going in, they're mostly being paid by the companies. And he would go, yeah, but not all of it. We're doing some of it. Well, I thought about that in my head, and I'm like, well, yeah, but we chip in for football stadiums.
Right.
I mean, we do chip in for change.
Our taxes pay for a lot of things.
Right. So I wouldn't be about that. Then the other thing he said was, there's just... you're sacrificing all the electrical shit that comes down on people, and the radiation and the noise and all this. It's like, well,
again, that's why we're building them in the middle of nowhere, and we're trying to keep them away from. We're not putting them in neighborhoods. I mean,
okay,
sure,
but what about that center that's going in, all the transmission line center?
That's still middle of nowhere.
Is it?
There's nothing out there. I mean, you can look. Yeah, you're saying you can look hundreds of miles every direction. There's not a lot out there, and it's farmland. It's all old farmland. Like I said, farmers are cashing in, especially generational, because they're going, look, our families have farmed this land for hundreds of years. We've owned it for hundreds of years, and we're tired of it. We're ready to go, and not be farmers. We're ready to go retire, and they're cashing in big time, and good for them. If that's what they do, fine.
I can't fault them. I mean, I don't like it, but it's not my choice.
I can't fault them either.
It's not my land.
Right? Exactly. So there's no perfect scenario. There is no. You're not going to make everybody happy. That's just the truth.
No, other than the fact that some people would argue we don't need these.
Yeah, but here's the thing: the people that argue that we don't need these things are the biggest components of being on social media and raising their flag of we don't need these things. But at the meantime, they're using a ton of data
Yeah, the people
to do it.
People would turn around and go, "I'm building all this shit because of people like you."
Yeah.
You're the one on the internet all day long. So, hang on, I'm gonna build some more for you.
They're demanding it. They might not know they're demanding it,
right?
But they are demanding it because they use it all the time. So, if you're a protester and you're an environmentalist and you don't want this stuff to happen, how are you going to get your word out without social media? How are you going to do that? You better go in the streets and you better go protest 100% and not use any data at all to really, back up your platform.
Well, and every time someone uses AI and asks it a question, it's going to data centers to get information.
Exactly.
So, I mean, don't ever use Grok again.
Don't ever use anything AI.
Because there's going to be using a data center to get what you want.
And by the way, AI is in everything. Everything. So good luck with that. So that's what I'm saying is we as a society are the ones that are demanding the need.
It might be if I wrote an outline of like 10 or 15 things that I want to talk about. All would be just the stuff we talked about today. But if I wrote those points down, would you come back and talk with that guy?
Yeah, absolutely.
And just and I'll moderate.
Yeah, I'd be happy to.
Because I'll moderate with a fucking bat. Like, it's my show.
He might get a little animated and crazy about it, but...
Who's going to get animated and crazy? He was animated and crazy all on his own. He wasn't even arguing with anybody. We were all in here going, dude, we are on your side. What the fuck are you doing? He's jumping up and down. But he was a good guy.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I'm not here to say that he's wrong about what his points are, because there are certain things that he's right about. We are going to have a certain amount of health issues because of what we're building.
He never brought that up. The things that he brought up that we were talking about, that I was trying to get answers to, that he was very excited, animated, and passionate about, was the power, was the water.
Yeah.
But if you explain what you just explained, like, okay, let me explain to you how this is exactly working. Mm-hmm. There's this much coming up the lines. Mm-hmm. Then it gets split and goes here. We've already got that, and we're getting 2 more of these. Get a calculator out, do the math. Doesn't it look, because to me, just in my head, I'm like, that kind of covers everything you just said.
Yeah. I mean,
it's close.
Yeah.
It's not far off.
It's not far off. We're solving the issues. There's other underlying issues that we're going to run into that I think people know about and they don't want to talk about. And a lot of that is, okay, like, what do we have to do to distribute that power? Those are transmission lines. What is that made from? What are those transmission lines made from?
I don't know. Metal of some sort.
Yeah. Do we have enough of it? Can we get enough of it to actually make what we need?
Pittsburgh Steel's up and running again, right?
Exactly.
We could call
but it's not steel. It's we're taking raw materials from the earth, right? So now you're talking mining.
Yeah.
Now you go down the mining hole. There's just a lot of rabbit holes.
Yeah, but I'm not. Yeah, I do not want to sit here and litigate.
No, you don't.
People talk about all the. How many times you want to talk about how much diesel fuel it takes to run those big trucks, those big mines, those big scrapers, those big crawlers to get it to the crusher? Then the crusher got to crush it. Then it separates it. There's chemicals that separate. It's like, dude, I'm not even going into that environmental mess with you.
Yeah.
I don't even care what the footprint is. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about. I'm trying to keep this right home.
Yeah.
If you tell me, okay, there's going to be a lot of power lines, I'm not thinking it's that much. I mean, even if you told me it's from 500 miles from here and 300 miles there, it's like, okay, dude, there's more than enough metal to make power lines and the poles. In my mind, that's not. I don't think anybody's going to be ordering those and they're going to be on back order.
They are. They already are, by the way.
I'll fucking call Amazon and have you some in 24 hours. I have Amazon Prime. I'm going to go on there and say, I need 300 power poles.
I'll put it this way. One company last year ordered all of the steel in the entire United States. All of it.
For what? I mean, like, to make stuff?
To build.
To build anything, just whatever, or they build something?
No, to build something very specific.
They ordered all the steel?
All of it. All of it. Steel prices went through the roof, and it was back ordered for months and months and months. Same thing with.
How do you build a building then?
Well, that's where you got to get first. You got to have the money. You got to be first in line, man.
No, come on. Now there's rules. That's called a monopoly.
It is called a monopoly.
You can't do that. Call Trump. I'll call him. I'll call Don tonight and say, look, man, they fucking got the corner of the market on steel. It's fucking us all up.
It's a big issue. So. That's what we're talking.
I've never heard about it.
Yeah, so that's what we're talking about. So when wood prices go crazy, steel prices go crazy. We had issues with transformers and the copper that makes those transformers.
Yep.
Years ago, you used to be able to here's a real basic version of that. Years ago, we used to be able to order our switch gear for a building, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And we'd have it in, 3-4 weeks maybe. They could build it pretty quick, get it to us.
Right.
A couple of years ago, that went to 54 weeks. And then it went even longer. And we couldn't get them in for a duration to build a project. Matter of fact, we have buildings here in Fernley that are setting empty right now because they couldn't get first of all, they couldn't get the actual switchboards for them, their switch gear. And then second of all, now they have it. And then second of all, they couldn't get the power for them. So they're sitting empty still because they still haven't gotten the power for them because this green link hasn't come up yet. So there's still buildings that are sitting empty because of that. So there's massive delays that are starting to happen. And it went away for a little while and now it's starting to resurface again due to the amount of data centers we're building, the amount of projects that are happening in the United States. And the semiconductor world too. Yeah. The semiconductor world is going crazy in the United States. So if you're going to talk about data centers, you got to talk about semiconductors too.
Now, I'm not sure.
They're hand in hand.
I'm not sure just how young you are. Anybody younger than me is a kid. Anybody older than me is an old man.
I'm just a kid.
Just a kid. So I'm going to throw out a phrase you may not understand. This is a phrase we used when I was a young boy growing up. It's called a catch-22. Now, if you don't understand what that is, I don't expect you to. You don't got to go look it up. But you're talking about a shortage of steel, semiconductors, other things, and how to supply all of those things to build the data center. And we could go to AI and say, hey, help us figure this shit out. Mm-hmm. And AI would say, I can't, because you can't build the center. I don't have enough data because you fuckers didn't build enough data centers. If you'd build the data centers, I could solve your supply problem. Dude, we can't build it because we have a supply problem. You need to tell us how to fix a supply problem, then we can build your brain. And AI is going to say, I can't use my brain without the data center that you can't build.
You're close.
Wow.
You're close.
Wow. God, I'm telling you.
We call this a conundrum.
A conundrum.
You're close. I think what's you're scratching at the surface of that, and that's we already do that, right? We already use AI and quantum computing to solve some of these issues and lay out paths in front of us. And then, the thing is, like, we have to look at it and actually use our brains that are better than that. Yeah. And, which is, hey, believe it or not, our dumb brains out here in Nevada, we're still better than a lot of AI. Yeah. We have to look at it and go, okay, so this is the path that you've laid out, but where are the pitfalls? Where can we make this actually work? Can we sequence this correctly? And then what do we look at to make this better for everybody? But it's a big problem. It really is. But ultimately, the solutions are out there. If we want to do this, and we're going to have to do this anyway, the solutions are out there. There's ways to get around anything. Everything is figure outable.
Is anybody else in the world doing this at our pace? Is any other country doing
China.
this?
China for sure.
Really?
Yeah, for sure. This is why this is such a hot topic right now, is because the person or the company or the country that can build AI the fastest and control it the most wins. I mean, hands down, is going to control the world. And this is why we're on such a hot pace to build the semiconductors and the data centers.
Then why don't we just explain to people and say, hey, you're going to have a few brownouts. Take one for the team. Hey, we're going to be short on steel a little bit. The costs are going to be a little higher. Hey, why not explain to the country and go, we have to do this. We all came together in World War II. Yeah. I mean, right now, you're telling me steel is so high. I'm going to go find every piece of scrap iron at every piece of property. I'm going to put it in my little red radio flyer wagon. I'm going to walk it down to some place that buys steel and go, give me my money. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm going to do, because now you told me
it's coming up. And that's the thing, is that's exactly it. So there's other companies out there that are going through that process, the recycling process, and understanding how do we extract those materials from lithium, from the steel, from the coppers, from the nickel, all the stuff that we need to use. How do we extract those and separate them and put them back into new things? And then also, what other materials can we use to supplement or change how we build
Yeah.
How we look at things.
What can be used instead of?
Right. What can be used instead of? What can we start to look at, new types of technology that we can look at that we're developing that's going to make this, faster and better and cheaper overall. It's big stuff though.
Come to you with this story. Come to you with this, as you would say, conundrum. And I think we're going to talk about power and electricity. And then you kind of solved it. Well, let's talk about the water use and the water problem. You kind of solved it. Then we talk about, you threw out the power lines thing. I'm like, yeah, we can get around the power line thing. But you took this from data centers and power and energy, and now you shifted it. Somehow I'm going to go home and not be able to sleep tonight about metal and about steel and about lithium. You changed the whole thing. Like what you should be worried about is this shit over here. Well, you know what? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I was fine.
Yeah, well,
if we just stopped this conversation at power and water, I was good. I have to go no further. I'd be like, I'm fine now. I'm good.
Hey, I just need you to stay up late night with me because this is the same shit I worry about, right? I got to worry about for my kids just like you do for yours. And that's the thing. But ultimately, what I have faith in this is that we're Americans and we figure shit out.
We do figure shit out.
That's what we do.
That's for damn sure.
Right? I mean, we're not where we are today for not having really smart people in our country, having the tenacity to figure it out, and the drive,
giving it a shot.
Give it a shot because just like a mechanic, just like an electrician, people who work on shit with their hands, we want to figure shit out. We want to make shit work, and we're going to do that at some point. We're going to figure it out, and might look a little different than what we thought it was going to look like. That solution might be a little askewed from what we thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
But we're going to figure it out. That's what I'm going to leave you with, is that we're going to figure it out.
There's your bottom line. We're Americans. We're going to figure that shit out. We don't even know what it is all the time. But guess what? As Americans, I can tell you one thing. Not only can we figure the shit out, we can also figure the shit out that we don't know we have to figure out yet. Even when the next thing comes, we'll figure that shit out too.
Amen.
That's just what we do. All right, listen, Ben, I really appreciate you hanging out.
Hey, absolutely.
It was a lot of fun doing this. So much knowledge in here, and can't wait to put this thing together. I'm going to try to set up that for you and that other guy.
That'd be great. Yeah.
And if I moderate that, just about the logistics of all this. Doesn't have to be policies. Doesn't have to be politics. Just got to be about what we're doing.
We'll keep it out of there.
Because I don't want to argue about who's paying off who and who did. I don't care. I'm asking. I just want the nuts and bolts. Can it work?
Yeah.
And if it does, what are the ramifications?
Yeah, exactly.
That's all I'm asking about. And I know we all, even that guy and you and me, we don't always have those answers.
Nah.
But we can speculate. Hey, that could be a problem. This might not be a problem. You don't know. But that's the conversation I want to have.
Absolutely.
All right, my man. Appreciate you again. Thank you.
Awesome.
Listen, that was it. I told you. I warned you. No frying pan to the side of the head. No Gen X mom, except for that one little blurb about her being on Pornhub over there on the couch. But we'll leave that out. Thank you guys for tuning in. Not sure where you're listening in from around the planet. AM, FM, Sirius XM. Or perhaps you listened in on the Armed Service Radio Network. Remember two things in life. Number one, wherever you go, there you are. Number two, I'll catch you guys on the flip side. I'm out, baby. I got to go.